After more than 3 weeks of fighting, the war in Ukraine has reached a bloody stalemate. Speaking on Wednesday, an American general said that Russia's setbacks should give pause to China's aspirations on Taiwan.
U.S. Marine Corps Commandant David Berger told the Washington Post that China was studying what's happening in Ukraine and realizing that an amphibious invasion of Taiwan would not be easy.
The war in Ukraine continues, with fighting taking place in and around major cities. Russia has found itself locked in a stalemate more than 3 weeks after its initial invasion. U.S. Marine Corps Commandant David Berger says Russia's setbacks should be a warning to Beijing. Russia is having trouble even with a ground invasion, he said. To invade Taiwan, China would need to mount an amphibious landing, which is never easy. Even if China could overpower Taiwan's air and maritime forces, it would need to tackle problems of logistics and sustainment, Berger said.
His observation is completely correct. No other military operation is more complicated than an amphibious invasion, which would involve a first wave assault, a second wave assault, and a wave of forces for logistic support. Based on how the Russia-Ukraine war is going, Beijing may think that Russia, the world's second largest military power, is not doing so well against Ukraine. So China may be reassessing its own prospects in the battle across the sea.
This fall, China will hold its 20th National Congress, where it may unveil new measures against Taiwan. Officials familiar with cross-strait affairs presented 3 scenarios for how the future could play out. The first is that Russia wins, an outcome that could embolden Xi Jinping and spell trouble for Taiwan. The second is that the war settles into a stalemate. This would affect the political climate in Europe and the U.S., allowing China to assert the One China principle and prohibit Western interference in Taiwan affairs. In the third scenario, Ukraine prevails and Vladimir Putin steps down. This would make clear to Beijing the consequences of war. Experts say this would be a more favorable outcome for Taiwan.
Looking at these 3 scenarios, it is very clear that Russia, in launching the so-called blitzkrieg, has lost at the game of Russian roulette. The bullet is now turned towards itself. Putin has discovered that Ukraine is a Russian doll. It's one figure after another nested together. Putin will never be able to win. From this military outcome, we can infer the political possibilities that are generated.
Nearly a month after the war in Ukraine, Taiwan is still closely tracking the conflict as it stays on high alert against potential moves from Beijing.